So there is a press conference. We'll take you. Here's a live look at that press conference. This is out of Monroe. And I'm reading this in real time, so I'm trying to filter out some of this stuff. So apparently this press conference is surrounding some legislation through the state to change the charter of Monroe to force a primary. This press conference is in front of the courthouse in Monroe regarding a House bill. And so, yeah, let's, as I do some more digging into this, let's listen into what's being said right now.
Representatives that we're talking to, when I say we, there's been individual conversations, not collectively, but I know I have asked for Monroe to be removed from this bill and for us to have meetings to discuss this possible change. I have also asked that if the change were going to happen, that we have a whole nother election cycle to prepare for this. It does not need to happen now. What it would mean for us if this were to go into effect, it would be, like it's written now, it would be an immediate change. That would mean our July municipal filing dates begin July 7th. The last filing date is July 18th. A primary mandated by state law in the statutes means a primary date for Monroe, which we have not had in 65 years, would be September 9th. That gives us less than 60 days to inform our citizenry of changes to our voting process, as far as what you do if you're an unaffiliated voter, what you will be able to do, how it would look if you were a Democratic voter or a Republican voter. And here's another thing. If anyone out there that is watching or listening or standing here today, if your political affiliation is unaffiliated and you were thinking, well, maybe I will file for office. Well, currently, right now, you can put your name on the ballot. Go down to the Board of Elections, fill out the forms, put your name on the ballot. If this goes through as it is, an unaffiliated person who wants to file for office in the city of Monroe would have to get 1.5% of the total registered voters in Monroe's signatures on a petition in order to put their name on the ballot. Now, I will be very honest with you on a personal level. That is not election integrity. That is not okay. It's not okay for us not to know about it. It's not okay for us not to be able to advocate for you. Please let me underscore this. I am standing here today for you, not for me, for you, for this city, so that you will have the knowledge that you need. And I'm going to challenge you with this after I finish. Well, I'll challenge you now, and then I'm going to challenge you again, because I want to make sure you hear it twice. I'm going to challenge you to contact our local representatives. We're simply asking for the chance to navigate this, communicate this, talk about this major change on behalf of you, so that you know what's going on and it's not sprung on anyone with less than 60 days to get citizens informed of how this would change and impact your vote.
As a citizen, can I say thank you for what you're doing?
So let me say this, if I may. There is a potential expense, additional expense, again, it's not budgeted for, that could go into the $75,000 range if this were to pass like it is written right at this moment. Again, it's been asked. We have not gotten a commitment either way whether or not we would Monroe would be.
You're watching Live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sturtevant. I just want to clarify the nature of this press conference. So this is a press conference by what appears to be a couple of members from Monroe City Council. And a couple of them are, they want City Council to meet regarding House Bill 3, which is state legislation, and they want council to take action. So basically the gist of what House Bill 3 is that it would make, if passed and signed into law, would make local elections go from nonpartisan to partisan. And that the town charter would be changed, and that the town leaders wouldn't have a say in that decision. So that's the sort of the gist of what's happening with the bill. From our understanding, the council members want Monroe to be removed from that bill. So let's take a listen in.
Citizens, I would say yes. And that's really what we're asking for. We're asking for the opportunity to govern you efficiently and fairly. We have not been given that chance. That doesn't give me any pleasure to say, and I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just giving you the facts. And each one of us will state factually what we know to be true and not true. We do know we were completely left out of this process. And that leaves you out of the process. If we don't know, you can't know. And I can say personally that I'm disappointed in that. We're advocating and working hard to, on your behalf, to make sure that it doesn't pass in its current form. I would like to end my portion of it this way. Your vote and elections are a sacred thing. We live in a free country. And you should be able to, whether you're unaffiliated or a Democrat or a Republican, to vote your conscience and have your voice at the ballot box. Now, let me say this. If you are an unaffiliated voter in Monroe, currently registered that way, and this passes in its current form, that means in the primary in September, you will not see a slate of candidates like you're used to seeing, everyone's name. You will have to choose either the Democratic Party ballot or the Republican Party ballot and vote on one of those ballots. So you'll have to decide which candidates do you lean towards the most as an unaffiliated voter, which is your right, but before you had the right to everyone's name. Is everybody following me? Okay, so you got that. And then in a primary election, which would be September the 9th, there would be a Democratic slate of candidates, a Republican slate of candidates, and you will only vote your party. Right now, in a nonpartisan election, you can vote if you want to split your votes because you're voting for the person and not the platform. You could choose. But if this passes in its current form, that will no longer be the case. If that ends up happening at some level, we need to have input on that. What does that look like? What does that mean to Monroe? What do we need to inform you of? How do you need to rethink your strategy? We need to be able to give you a strategy to go by. We need to be able to represent you correctly. So, to summarize my portion of it, I'm working diligently. I know others are as well, to ask for Monroe, and again I'm going to underscore this, Monroe is the only municipality in Union County that this is directed towards. Yep. I cannot tell you why. I'm just telling you that's a fact, okay? So it's there. That's unfair in my personal opinion. Totally unfair. If we're going to make those kinds of changes in elections, we have other municipalities that have nonpartisan elections. So if the goal is to get everyone to a partisan election, then do everyone at the same time, let everyone communicate about it and everyone learn about it. But let's not cherry pick municipalities. That's not okay. Okay? So this is what you can do. And again, this is you. Those of you who are watching, those of you who are here today, I'm going to challenge you to communicate to the first person you see once you leave here. Hey, go to ncleg.gov and contact the offices of Representative Arp, Representative Brody, Senator Johnson, and Senator Craven. Their phone numbers will be listed there, and we'll actually have some copies as well. Their email is there. This is going to, as far as we know, will be on the floor for a vote Tuesday. You need to email them today. Their inbox should be full from the citizens of Monroe asking questions and expressing concerns. And let me say this, as an individual council member, I'm willing to sit down and listen to the reasons why someone would want to, introduce this to our community. But we need to be given the chance to do that. And we haven't been given the chance to do that. So I'm not saying that to say I'm for or against it. I'm just saying give us the chance to represent you and see if it is best for Monroe. It may be, it may not be. I have my own personal opinion about the way it should stay, but I'm just going to tell you.
You're watching live Impact News on WCNC Plus. I'm Nick Sertovan. That is a press conference in in Monroe discussing a House Bill 3, a legislation, statewide legislation regarding partisan elections. But we need to shift over to